Garrett McDonald here, school counselor at Indian Trail. Got a really cool guy here on with us. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name's Daniel. I'm from Johnson City, Tennessee. Grew up, born and raised there. Um, yeah, and then I kind of just been chasing a dream for the last, well, really my whole life. But yeah, after high school, just got into playing ball, and yeah, just kind of been going for it since then. But beyond that, I'm just another guy from Tennessee. I got
Yeah.
really good parents. They let me chase that dream, and
Mhm.
I've had so many people along the way just kind of pushed me for this opportunity, which has been really cool. And
Mhm.
it's cool to have, just like whenever I'm back home, feeling, certain people in the community just really behind me. We're not playing right now, obviously, because of all this, but during the season, it's always good to, have those warm messages and thoughts from, family and friends back home. So yeah, that's about it.
That's so cool, man. So you mentioned chasing a dream. So for some of the folks that may not know, what would you normally be doing like right now? Like what would be
um,
going on?
right now, what time is it? About 7 something. Yeah, we'd be playing right now.
Man.
We usually, yeah, we play every night. Sundays are day games. So yeah, usually we'd be lacing them up, getting ready to go compete. That's the fun part, is going out and playing the games. But a lot of people don't really know or understand that, like, for a 7 o'clock game, I get to the field probably at 12:30 or 1,
Hmm.
and it's just kind of a full work day before the game.
Right.
Unless I'm pitching. If I'm pitching, it's a little bit different, more relaxed. But yeah, it's a lot of hard work. But I think I can speak for everybody that's playing ball. We wouldn't trade it for nothing.
Yeah, that's so cool. So you told us what, you'd be doing right now if this all this stuff wasn't going on. So what are you we talked a little bit about before we started, but what are you doing right now since kind of got this delay going on with the baseball season?
Yeah, so I'm down here in Florida. We train here in Florida, and when all this stuff hit, I just stayed here. We have a pretty good setup of training here, so usually I train every day. Train, like, work out and throw, just staying, maintaining what we had for the season. And then in my free time, I like to surf. So I've been able to cruise over to the East Coast of Florida, and, you know, 3-4 times a week, and catch some waves and have fun. And it's good to kind of clear my head. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's really cool. To be able to surf and stuff. I can hardly swim, so that's really cool that, that's something that you like to do. So you mentioned that you went to, Johnson City schools or whatever, and I was just wondering, like, do you have a specific memory that sticks out to you?
Yeah, have a couple, I guess. One good, one bad. We'll start. What do you want, the bad or the good or the bad
Let's
first?
go with the bad first, and
The
we'll
bad first.
clean it up there at the end.
Yeah, I distinctly remember. I think I was in 8th grade, which now I think that was up at like Liberty Bell, Science Hill, on that campus. But I remember we had, like, it was called Career Day or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
we'd kind of cruise around Freedom Hall and they had a bunch of stations set up where people could kind of get an idea what they wanted to do when they grow up. And I mean, I knew at an early age that I wanted to chase baseball. Like, it was my passion. It's what I wanted to do. I still took school, like, seriously. I wanted to have good grades. I wanted to work hard, because I think in all of life you got to work hard, no matter what. But I just remember, they came around our class, and they the seats that are kind of just in the row, and I can't remember who the people were, but they came up. They would ask people, like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And people would be like, "I want to be a doctor. I want to be a nurse, or I want to be a business person. Whatever kind of things along those lines," which are all amazing. Um, and then they got to me, and they're like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I was like, "I want to be a baseball player." And I just remember them laughing, like, in my face, and they're like, "Do you not realize the odds of that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I totally understand the odds." And they're like, "No, it's like 1 in a million." And I was like, I just remember, like, looking at them dead in the eyes, and I was like, "I don't care. Like, I'm gonna do it."
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like, "Oh, I'm gonna make it because I'm good at baseball." It was just, I knew in my heart that I would make it, just because I knew how much I loved it and I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
give up. Um, So I just remember that, like, and I remember going home to my parents and saying, like, kind of what happened. Like, yeah, they told me I couldn't do it. And, my parents are just the best people ever. And they're like, nobody can tell you what you can or can't do, And so, like, they always supported me. They always gave me every opportunity to chase this dream. And so, yeah, I just remember that day when, being looked in the eyes by somebody that's older than you or whatever, and
Right.
just them saying, like, no, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that. And then the good one, in contrast to that, was when I was at Indian Trail. I might have even told you this before, but
Oh, yeah.
I guess I was in sixth grade, maybe sixth or seventh, and Mr. Crabtree, he was my teacher then, and I don't I don't think it was like a career day thing or anything like that, but he knew I loved baseball or something, and I said he might have even asked me what I wanted to do, and I told him, and he told me the exact opposite. He was like, nobody can tell you that you can't do that. Like, he was like, I fully believe in you. Like, I just remember, it stuck with me. Like, this is a teacher. I'm in sixth grade, this young kid that,
Mm-hmm.
the most he'd ever seen me play sports was during recess.
Mm-hmm.
And he just, I told him, and I think he probably felt, he knew how heartfelt it was. And I just told him I wanted to do that. And he was like, I believe in you, And so, like, that, here I am, 27 years old now, and I just still remember that. And I just think it's people maybe in your position or other positions don't realize the impact they have on kids, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, like just being able to help, like, some kid, like, give them drive to whatever they want to be. And it obviously doesn't have to be an athlete, but I just can't imagine ever telling, like, a kid, you're not going to be able to do that,
Yeah.
because it's got to be somebody,
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm sure Mr. Crabtree will see this. You got anything you want to say to him?
Yeah, man, just thank you. Like I said, here I am many years later, and I still
Yeah.
remember that day, and just super special, like that was, I've just tapped back into that memory so many times when, I'm working hard or,
Mm-hmm.
training for baseball. And it's like, I want to, people like that, people that believe in you in such an early age, you want to make them proud and
Mm-hmm.
prove them right. So, yeah, big
Yeah.
thank you to him.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I remember when I first got hired on at Indian Trail, he was the first person that reached out to me. And I was like, who's
Oh,
this
that's
guy?
awesome.
And then
Yeah,
got to know him. So he's a cool guy. But yeah, that's an awesome story. That's really neat. It's encouraging for, people that aspire to play baseball. And I think also for kids that maybe aspire to be educators to see what kind of, influence they can have, good or
yeah,
bad,
totally.
make
Couldn't
that
agree
choice.
more.
So you mentioned your parents earlier, but who would you say are your biggest influences?
Yeah, I mean, definitely mom and dad, from day one. Like, again, like, I never once got any pushback from, like, doing this. It was always just like full go, full support. So that's like everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but beyond them, just, again, some of my coaches throughout high school, Coach Tolley, who's like a legend in Johnson City, and then Coach Wallen. I mean, really, every coach I've had has just been awesome. Even dating back to Pee Wee football with Bart Lyon. He's just somebody that would always get the best out of us when we were 7 years old, and that stuff, like, sticks with you. But yeah, Coach Tolley, Coach Wallen, Coach Lyons. I mean, Coach Edwards obviously is one of the best humans I've ever met at the Science Hill, and then.
Mm-hmm.
Even some football coaches that I had, and Coach Cutlip in basketball. I mean, although I'm not playing basketball or football right now, like, going to practice or going to games every day in high school, Coach Cutlip and Coach Overbay, I remember Coach Overbay was so influential in me, in my, like, freshman to senior year, just in football and stuff. I mean, I remember, I'll tell a quick story. I remember I was a quarterback in high school, and the coach at the time, Coach Smith, he was like super hesitant to play me a bunch at quarterback. Like, he put me at receiver. He was just really worried that I would get hurt, I guess. He's like, I know baseball's your sport. I don't want to get you hurt. And I'm like, hey, if I was worried about getting hurt, I wouldn't be out here putting my pads on. Like, I want to play ball. And so I got to play quite a bit of quarterback. was mostly receiver. And then Coach Overbay, like he and I were super close.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I know how much you love football. He was like, you're going to be my safety and you're going to play every snap, And so although I was pretty solid quarterback and receiver, like I wanted to, playing safety for Coach Overbay was special to me because it made me want to play hard because he believed in me and he knew like I wanted to help the team win. So things like that stick out. And then Coach Cullip in basketball, he gave me a lot of opportunities and, he pushed me hard and just stuff like that. Again, it seems like a long time ago, but it was really influential in just, the drive and the hard work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool to, I don't know, just know where you're at in your career and to, I don't know, be around a lot of those people. It's just neat to see, like, I don't know, am I taking it for granted? It's just cool. As a school system, it's cool to have a lot of people that are, that have that kind of impact on kids. And I'm sure you know for a fact, you're not the only one that they've,
100%.
So, man, that's just really neat. I love your football stories. They're good.
Yeah.
So, we've got this whole pandemic going on, and it's just all over the place and kind of hard to deal with sometimes. And I think about my students and 5th and 6th graders, and then a lot of them that have gone on to Liberty Bell, 7th, 8th graders, and what advice would you're like one of the most positive people that, I follow or like, just have been around. And so what kind of advice would you throw out to them during this whole, this pandemic stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I think, well, I appreciate that. First of all, I mean, being positive it's a conscious effort and it's a choice that you make, I mean, nobody's immune to bad days. Right. And, sorry, I kind of got a call there, but I got other. Okay. Nobody's immune to bad days. And I think the biggest thing is just making that conscious effort to think good thoughts. Again, it's just being around. I mean, a perfect example is Coach Tolley. He was the guy's been through so much. Like he's battled cancer twice basically. And every day he showed up at football practice with the exact same attitude. And that was to make us better and be a positive influence in our life. And so people like that and moments like that have just molded. I mean, it helped mold me, but also some of my closest friends. We still talk about Coach Tolley to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I have any advice to kids, growing up right now, is pay attention to those people. Those people care. They have that job for a reason. They chose this career path because they want to help others. They want to help kids grow. It might not even be to help you get an A in math class. It's just to help you grow as a human. And so, it's hard. I know, like as kids, our attention span is really, really short. But it's recognize those people and pay attention to it and appreciate it because that. I mean, like I said, they're there for a reason. But as far as the time we're going through right now, it's weird. It's very weird. I mean, I should be playing ball right now, but I'm totally not. So we're just kind of taking it day by day and seeing this as an opportunity to kind of grow yourself, and gosh, that person keeps calling me. But
That's okay.
And so, yeah, it's just an opportunity to grow yourself and be very, take a long look in the mirror and see what forms that you can grow in life. And, this is very, as we said, it's a weird time. Somebody pressed the pause button on a lot of things in life right now, but it's still going on. You're still waking up every day. So.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. I think that's great. I think that's going to get to a lot of ears that need to hear that. That's, including mine and some of my colleagues and stuff. So, that's really good. And so lastly, just some speed round random questions that, I feel like we all should know. You're on a road trip, you go into a gas station. What's your snack? What are you going with?
Ooh, beef jerky for sure.
What's your beverage?
My beverage, probably either like a water, like
I've heard of it.
I don't know, water, or maybe like a coffee for sure.
Coffee,
but yeah,
coffee and beef jerky. That's
coffee and beef jerky, can't beat it.
That'll make you tough for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Okay. Favorite animal?
Um, I've always said a dolphin, but I
Dang.
like dogs too. So
If you
yeah,
were, we could be like ocean bros because my favorite
yeah.
animal is the manatee. So like,
Oh, nice, nice.
it's natural because they're really fast and manatees are kind of slow. So
Yeah,
we
yeah,
would get along great.
yeah.
What would your job be if you weren't playing baseball?
Um, yeah, that's a tough question. I kind of like I have a lot of other interests. I mean, I think if I weren't playing ball, I think I would be involved in something in the outdoors. Maybe like I love photography, so maybe something like an adventure photographer or writer. I've always liked to write. I don't know. Maybe after I'm done playing, I would kind of dabble in something like that, or just
Mhm.
kind of hang out and expand on that. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't think about it too much.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool. That's a good way to think. Um, well, cool, man. That's all the questions I got for you. Follow Daniel. Let's see here. It's at Daniel Norris 18. Is that right?
Yep.
His Instagram. He's got a lot of cool stuff on there. Like I said earlier, he's a positive guy. He's definitely somebody that would uplift you if you followed him in that way. So, um, Daniel, thanks again, man. This is awesome. I
Yeah,
think
dude.
it's gonna it help me for sure. If nobody else, I know it's gonna help a lot of kids and maybe some educators too will see this and it'll kind of
Right.
brighten their day. And we really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.